familiar name. I think we literally just played this guy like 3 games ago. He plays d4. We're going to go knight f6. I guess he wants revenge. Unless he was the guy that beat us, then we need the revenge. Have I lost a game besides time yet? I think I've lost, if I'm keeping track, 4 or 5 games total. 4 or 5 games total since I was at 800. So within the past 1,000-point gain, I think I've lost 4 or 5 total. At least 3 or 4 were on time, and I think 1 game somebody did legitimately beat me. But I think I also made a couple mistakes along the way. Something like that. Alright, so let me explain this real quick. He's playing the Trumpowski, which is when you play bishop g5 against knight f6. And he's playing kind of a gambit line where he plays e4 and tries to open up the center. He wants me to take, and then I play knight takes. It's definitely possible to do, but it gives him a very big lead in development. I just figured I'd play e3, keep that shut. I'm not up a pawn, or I won't be up a pawn, but at least I'll get to complete my development. So we're just playing c6. We're going to play g6 and bishop f5 pretty soon. Bishop f5 pretty soon. Get in knight to d7, knight to b6. Bishop e6, okay. He could play bishop h6. He's kind of banking everything on a kingside attack here, which is not 100% guaranteed by any means. I could always castle queenside if I want to. So I'm just playing knight to d5, trade off a few pieces maybe. If I play bishop takes, he plays c4, and he does actually get a pretty big attack, so we're going to take this way instead. Next play like queen b6, maybe castle queenside. We might actually keep the king in the center for a little bit. That might actually be okay as well. We're going back to f5. I'm actually not too concerned with losing this bishop. But so I'm going to just play e6 here, I believe. Hey, Mukau Pong 1. Thanks a lot for the follow there, too. Hope you're enjoying it. So we're going to have doubled pawns, but he's going to have 2 bishops in a closed position. Is kind of the downside for him. If I take with the e-pawn, though, he plays like rook e1, and I'm in some trouble. So I got to take with the g-pawn. Looks weird. Definitely looks weird, not going to lie. But I'm going to play queen b6 and castle queenside pretty soon. I'm also going to try to stop him from playing g6. If he plays like rook g1, I'll play rook g8. And I'm probably going to castle queenside, because the king side's not looking too safe. Yeah, so we're going to go rook to g8. Stopping g6. I don't want to let him play g6 easily. I wonder what came to mind the first time. What came to mind first in time pressure? You look very cool in time pressure. Yeah, I've played quite a lot of bullet games, so I'm pretty I'm pretty used to being low on time. And just like Abhi said, my bullet rating is higher than my blitz rating on my main account, which is not how I'd probably want it to be, but it's just kind of how it is, I guess. I've played a lot of bullets, so I'm kind of used to the time pressure factor. Okay, play c4. This is actually kind of annoying. He's playing well here. I could play queen b4 and just try to exchange queens. Could be possible. Bishop to b4 is also not too bad. I think we'll just do that. Just hit the queen, see what he does. Is today Friendly Friday? Like I said earlier, I'm going to have to confirm some things in a little bit. I'll let you know if I'm able to do like the full Friendly Friday in a little bit. You prefer white? Let's see how the game goes then here. I think I'm going to keep my king in the center. It sounds weird, but I think we're going to play rook c8 here. Pin the pawn. If he plays c5, okay, he plays c5. I'm going to play queen to c6. I have to retreat this bishop back to c7. Bishop to d3. I don't see any threats just yet. So I think I'm just going to play bishop a5. I'm going to play b6 pretty soon to get rid of the c5 pawn here. Yeah, so we'll go b6. This is so intense. All right, we're taking this. If he takes on f5, I don't have to take back. I'm also just threatening to take the d6 bishop right now. Hey, Mixtape 2 Fire. How's it going? If he takes back on the c5 square, I'm going to play knight takes c5, and I'm going to just up a pawn, actually. I think that's a good sign for me. Yeah, I think we're okay here. I don't think I'm missing anything. I'm threatening to trade off his light square bishop. I'm also threatening to take the d6 bishop, so I'm going to take here. He's going to check. I'm just going to move up a little bit. And now we're playing queen to b4, offering a queen trade. Objectively, this could be a draw at some point if the rooks all the rooks get exchanged. This is an opposite color bishop type position. But I think I'm a little bit better here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm up a pawn. His pawns over here are on the same color as my bishop, so I can attack them. So I feel like black's actually a little bit better here. White's attack kind of went awry a little bit. I think we'll just retreat. Bishop f4 maybe next move? Or trade and then bishop g3, hit the h4 pawn. Threatening to take f5, definitely can't let him do that for free. Guess we just move. Alright. Just rook c5 here. Double up the rooks on the c-file. He wants to play g6 really badly. I'm going to play bishop e7, so if he plays g6, the h4 pawn is weak. And next I'll play like rook b8 next move, probably. Well, I really needed to play c takes d. Yeah, that would have probably been a bit better, but not the easiest thing in the world because I had the pawn pinned when I played rook c8 earlier. Okay, I guess we're just taking, and then playing bishop takes h4, I think. So we're up 2 pawns now. He's going to get this one. Yeah, let's not lose on time again. That'd be kind of unfortunate. Let's just play rook c7. King d6, keep the bishop guarded. Rook b7 next move to hit the pawn. And then probably king e5 pretty soon. I'm also threatening bishop takes a3. Bishop f6. My king is actually surprisingly safe on the square. King f6. Let's just keep that bishop guarded. Let's just guard that. Actually, let's just trade off the rooks if we can. He doesn't want to. We'll go here. That's fine. Attack the f4 pawn. Take an f4 pawn. Push a pawn. Probably push another pawn. Next move. And now our pawns are just going to kind of rush down the board. Not a whole lot white can do to stop it. Rook d4. Rook to e4. King e5. Rook e3, hit the b pawn. And let's just push the f-pawn. Throw a check in there. My a7 pawn is defended by the bishop, so not much he can accomplish there, unfortunately. Trying to promote. I guess we just promote. Yeah, he's done for here. Looks like he's just going to wait out the time, it looks like. Okay. So let's analyze this one. Alright, flip the board. So this is the Trempowski with bishop to g5. This is not the most popular opening in the world, but definitely a legitimate choice. The idea is to maybe trade the knight and then play e4. I decide on the line with knight e4. He plays bishop f4, and he goes into this kind of gambit line with e4. I take. He plays knight c3. Now I can take f3. He'll play knight takes. This is objectively a little bit better for black because I am up a pawn, but white has very good development. This is kind of like a Smith-Morra gambit version of like d4. Kind of the same exact thing. e4, c5, d4, take c3. This is d4, d5, e4, kind of similar to that. I could play this, but it's a little bit risky. Instead, I just decide to give the pawn back. The downside for white in this kind of situation is now the knight cannot get to f3 because he played f3. So he gets the pawn back. I get my bishop activated. Knight d7, g4, bishop e6. I played h5. This isn't necessary either, I suppose. But it does kind of lock the king side up a little bit. Takes, takes. Knight e2 is a good move, going for knight f4. If I just continue with bishop g7, he goes knight f4. I can't move the bishop because then he grabs this pawn. And it's kind of awkward. I don't really want to get doubled e-pawns. So I have to play like queen b6. He takes, I take. He plays bishop h3. This is pretty uncomfortable for black. I'm not really enthusiastic about black's position here. Instead, I played bishop f5. I'm okay with getting the f-pawns doubled because it is a closed position and the knight is not too bad here. Rook g1, he wants to play g6, opening it up a bit. I play rook g8, king to b1. In hindsight, maybe stopping c4 should be a priority. Maybe queen to c7 is a good move. Or rook to c8 to stop c4. But I did queen b6, he played c4. I played bishop to b4, queen c2, rook c8, not giving him time to take the pawn. He played c5, I played queen c6. I also have to be a little bit careful here too. If I play, well, I guess I could do queen d8, and then if he goes here, I retreat, he keeps pushing. This is also maybe not super awesome for me. So instead, I played queen c6, bishop d3. I get this bishop retreated a little bit. I play b6 to kind of crack this a little, get rid of the c5 pawn. Bishop d6, not really good, just does kind of give me a free pawn there. And especially in this endgame, I feel now that we've gotten queens off the board, I'm not really afraid of anything at this point. I'm up a pawn, but I do have doubled pawns. So it's still fairly equal here, I'd say. He just kind of, I think he thinks that his position is better than it actually is, and he loses the h4 pawn as well. He does pick the h5 pawn up. I can't really stop that one. I attack the pawn, get my king activated, and then I just try to eventually trade off a pair of rooks, win another pawn, and then just kind of start pushing the pawns down the board. It's over at this point. I'm just up a full piece, and I'm just going to push the f-pawn and win the game. So, whenever I see a GM game, I usually come across weird openings. I just keep wondering why do they open so weirdly. And